It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandal's 16 all-inclusive, luxury-included, adults-only resorts, or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get Thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to the Motivated Mindset with your host, me, Jose Flores, and we are going to go into the why behind what we do in life. Have you ever wondered what truly drives people? I know I do. What fuels their purpose and motivation? In this podcast, we're going to explore those profound questions, uncovering the stories and insights that shape our journeys. Join me as we navigate in the depths of human ambition and uncover the secrets to living a fulfilled life, purpose, and driven. Let's get motivated. Thank you. Hey, ¿qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome to the Motivated Mindset. I'm your host, Jose Flores, a combat veteran. I served 30 years in the United States Army. It was freaking hoo-wah. You know what I'm saying to you? So look at here. A big salute to all my veterans and first responders. So look at here. I was born and raised in New York City, a proud Latino, straight out of the Bronx, Boogie Down Bronx, all right now, and raised in Brooklyn. You know, if you've ever seen that movie, but that's something else. That New York flavor, that hustle, that grit. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. But check this out. Today, I wear many hats. Not like this cool one like you see up there. No, you can't have it. So I'm a motivational speaker, certified personal trainer, certified mediator, and yes, an end-of-life death doula. Yeah, I know. That's for another podcast, okay? But this podcast is all about finding your why, your purpose. We talk about resilience, optimism, culture, and discipline that I got from the Army. Thank you, Uncle Sam. The fire it takes to keep moving forward in life sometimes, because sometimes life tries to knock you down, and we keep it real. For me, New York City real, straight talk, Bronx humor, no sugarcoating. This is where you get fired up. Te río un poco, how you doing, you know, and also maybe even shed a tear. And most of all, you leave here stronger than when you press that play button. And you are in the right spot. This is where you need to be. Aquí mismo. No en otro sitio, pero aquí, right? So now, my guest today, let me tell you something. She's a force to be reckoned with, right? And I am so honored to welcome Ms. Estrella Martinez, a proud U.S. Army veteran, a combat-tested leader, and senior vice commander of the VFW Post 1503 in Dale City, Virginia. She's been reelected for her second consecutive term because when she steps up, people fear her leadership. You know what I'm saying to you? Estrella served during Operation Enduring Freedom in Kandahar, Afghanistan, as a cargo specialist, 88 Hotel, or H, for the Army folks out there who didn't know what that was, right? And she carries that same discipline and commitment into her civilian career. After earning her bachelor's degree in management and human resources, and by the way, Magna Cum Laude, by the way, just so you know, muy inteligente. And she went on to serve in leadership roles because across the federal government, continuing her mission of excellence and service to others. But what makes Estrella truly special isn't just her rank or her resume. Es su corazón. It's her heart. She's a woman of purpose, passion, and power. Someone who's still serving still inspiring, and still leading by example. So get ready. Prepárate. You like the way I say that? You can learn Spanish here too if you want, but that's something else. Because today we're talking about leadership, faith, and finding purpose beyond the uniform, like a lot of our brothers do sometimes when they get to make that transition. But ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the Motivated Mindset, the one and only Miss Estrella Martinez. We're going to do this little thing here. Watch this, and it's coming. Ooh.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
All right. Welcome, Estrella.
Hello. Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
It's a pleasure to have you, ma'am. No, thank you so much for being here on a Saturday. But, everything I said, like I meant, it came from like my mouth, and it's like from my mind to my heart. So I just want to say, del corazón mío, from my heart, thank you for being here. And I know you have so much to drop knowledge on us. But what people sometimes want to know, where you from? Who are you?
Well, before I get into where I'm from, I want to first thank God, for giving us this moment here, as well as thank you, the Motivated Mindset and MBR Talk for giving this platform to our veterans to, basically be vessels. And I feel we need a lot of that now. And also to all your viewers, I want to shout out to all my family and friends who are tuning in. Appreciate it. Been getting a lot of texts and calls. And so I just want to shout out to all my friends and family as well. So Estrella Martinez, but most people in the military, even in school, called me Star. Mm-hmm. If you don't know, Star is but for our viewers, Star is the translation to Estrella. Mm-hmm. But I am from South Texas, about 45 minutes west of Corpus Christi, Salina country, big Salina fan. I grew up there, graduated high school, and joined the Army when I was 18 years old. Wow. I didn't have anyone in my immediate family who was military. Later on, I came to find out I had like great uncles who served in, World War II and, other wars, which was pretty neat. But I joined, I guess, out of not wanting to go to school. I felt like having gone to school 13 years was enough. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to go to college. So I didn't want to go to college. And also I didn't want to just stay home. And I was very athletic. So I felt like, okay, well, maybe I'll give the Army a try. I thought I was going to travel. And little did I know, I was stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. So I joined at 18, and I went to basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Yep, Action Jackson. Yep, we went there.
Jackson, yes.
And did my advanced training at Fort Eustis. I don't think it's called Fort Eustis anymore. But did my advanced training there, and like I said, I got stationed at Fort Campbell. Mm-hmm. I'm a big Cowboys fan as well. Okay. Not here recently because they're not doing too good, but I'm a big Cowboys fan as well. But I just in the military, I did 7 years active and National Guard, and just along the way, I've met a lot of great people, and a lot of service members, and it's been a journey. It's military. I tell anybody, the military was a stepping stone for me, and I feel like a lot of young people would also benefit from at least during maybe even 2 years. The discipline that instills in you, the structure. Mm-hmm. I know one of the early disciplines that I got was making my bed. Growing up, I had to make my bed, but it wasn't nothing like it's a basic, and they're like, you got to make your bed, and it's like, mm-hmm. You don't have time for that. But when you're getting inspected on it, and you're having to do some push-ups when it's not done a certain way, those little things kind of you don't realize until later that, it builds you up for, what's to come in, journey. And if you can't make your bed, it's like, you can't handle the little stuff, you're not going to be able to handle the big stuff.
Absolutely. And what was it like? Okay, so I'll tell you my story. I know when I first joined there, my parents were like, "What? You want to do what?" And it was hard on them. And it wasn't until later on that I understood why. What was the reaction for your parents? Either one, when you say, "Hey, mom, dad, I want to join." What was that like?
Um, it's funny you asked that, because I was actually thinking about that this week, as I was preparing to come here, and I thought about my dad, and my dad has since passed. He passed in 2017 or 2018. But I remember, his reaction more than anything, because my dad, it was the typical macho, Mexican dad, and he had limited English, and so I remember when I was leaving that the recruiter came to get me. I guess at first they probably didn't think like I was serious, and so the recruiter came, and my dad was in the kitchen, and I had never seen him cry, and
Wow.
it was when I told him bye, that I saw him cry, and I was like, oh wow, I had never seen him cry, and so it was, it was good. Then after that, the family's just kind of been my biggest support.
Yeah.
They've been a blessing, to say the least. All my family. I come from a big family.
Mhm.
I grew up. I grew up thinking, we had it all, and in a sense we did, because my parents did a great job of, letting us know that, we weren't lacking anything.
Mhm.
Food on the table, a roof over our head.
Right.
So yeah, joining the military for me was like, oh, I get to travel, because that's not something we got to do, especially being a big family.
Right. Right.
So little did I know it was not going to turn out that way, except when I got deployed, that I got to literally travel all around the world
Absolutely.
because of the different places we stopped. But yeah, my family's been my biggest support, and yeah, I can't say enough about them.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad, he cried too, and because I was 17 at the time, they had a sign for me, and it was like I was afraid, like, oh my goodness, are they gonna sign? They signed it, and I'll never forget when I came back from basic, and I was trying to show them because it was during break, like, Mom, I'm bad. I can roll my socks like this and make my bed. And say, why didn't you do that before you joined the army? I didn't have a 6-foot dude screaming at me and doing push-ups and having GI parties. They say, you guys have parties? I said, no, not what you think, Dad. And I like that, So I can truly relate to that. And what was it? What kind of people, for some civilians who may be watching, what was that experience like going through basic and meeting all these different people that were not from Texas? What was that like for you?
So where I grew up was, we're about 98% Hispanic.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So, definitely getting to basic and being around different cultures, different ethnicities, especially being around different Latinos, thinking,
Yes.
thinking that, thinking everybody spoke like me,
Mm-hmm.
and then coming to find out there's just different dialects, there's different
Yes.
words. And it was an eye opener, to say the least. It was an eye opener. But yeah, it was, I can't put it into words right now, but it just, so many emotions just come with, what that was like, being from a small town. And I think for me also, I was surprised in learning what I learned about myself was in basic was that I actually could run, and I hated running. I hated being in in sports. They would make us, that was part of our conditioning,
Right.
and I got into basic, and we're doing runs, and I'm passing some of the guys, and I'm like,
Right.
either I'm, I am okay, or I'm an okay runner, but I never thought to be, only because I did not like running at all.
Right.
But it definitely, it told me a lot about myself.
Yeah.
And it, and for me, when you were talking about the drill sergeants, basic training was fun. I thought it was fun, because to your point about the yelling,
Yeah.
I was disciplined. I'll put it out there when growing up, my family, where my mom was the disciplinary one.
Right.
And so knowing in basic, we were going to get yelled at. I'm like, that's it? Like, that's the only thing I got to worry about? Like, there's no belt, there's no, there's no switch anywhere. No, not switches. But no, it was, it was fun and exciting. I had a battle buddy who actually, was like complete opposite. Like, she broke down to the point where we were at the range and she wanted to actually blow her foot off to get a medical. And it was like, it was at that moment, and it has stayed with me just because it's like, people have just different journeys and different experiences, and I felt bad for her. But yeah, so when you're talking about the yelling at you, I was like, that didn't bother me at all.
Wait, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. And for the audience that's watching, if you have any questions, please send them. And, when we come back from the break, we'll talk about, what happens after AIT and where she went. And then we'll get into the meat and potatoes and things. So we're going to take a quick break and see you when we get back.
It's the guts and it's the glory, 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes, hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Proud but torn, but if you knew him you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down here to lie. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
the station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.u.
Booyah! Hey, okay. Estrella, what do you think of that video? Isn't it stupendous? I'm just saying.
If you don't get the feels from that video, I mean, are you even alive? That is,
I know.
makes you want to put on, take out that uniform back out and go.
Okay. I don't know about all that, but
It sounded good though.
No, it's really good. I mean, if I had some pelo, it'd be like, rah! But I ain't got none. It just makes me, I get motivated by listening to that. It's just, and that's why it's so important that we tell our stories as veterans, about, what we do and let Americans know, hey, there's a price to pay, for everything we do and so on. But that always motivates me. But I think we left off on, about, when AIT. But let me real quick. I needed this. I was thinking about when you said, when I got to basic, I was ODF out there flapping. It was like there were people like from all over because, growing up in New York, it was around, brown and black people, but I never really met white people unless it was a cop like, okay, take me. But anyway, it's like it was just an eye opener for someone like me. It was like this new world, like going from Earth to Mars. Like, oh, okay. I mean, even now, I like some country. I like, again, the exposure, right? I remember the first time I saw Metallica, I was like in Japan, girl, of all places, Japan. And I was like, that is just really, really good. And I know for many of us, the military has been, there were some WTF moments, but it was really good for me. Like we had talked earlier, so it's just exposure, leaving the town. Because I even know people from New York, they might go like, I think they go to Punta Cana for 2 weeks in a gated community. And that's like, I've been out, I've seen it. No, it's a little bit more than that. But back to task. Okay, because sometimes I'm an ODF. Talk about how was AIT, because we mentioned you was an 88 hotel, but people may not know exactly what that is. Can you just talk about that, please?
So to put it in general terms, it's I was basically like a forklift operator.
Mm-hmm.
Which there's different types of forklifts. There's 4Ks, 10Ks, depending on what the load was. That was the operator. Also drove military vehicles, LMTVs, Humvees.
Mm-hmm.
Even operated a crane.
Wow.
In AIT, we got to operate the Haglund's crane, which are the cranes that are on the ships.
Wow.
But I didn't get to do that in active. And I really wanted to be close to the water, but God had other plans and put me in the middle of the country in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where there's no water in sight.
Right.
But no, AIT was just as fun. I mean, I think I enjoyed AIT a little bit more because you had more, we had more the weekends, you can, take off, and you had more, liberal days that they would give you.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it just as much until I got to Fort Campbell, my duty station, and it was just, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I was expecting more of, the same discipline and same structure, and it just kind of was more laissez-faire.
Mm-hmm.
And then then that's when you start to see what the military is like.
Yes.
Hurry up and wait.
Yes, hurry up and wait. Oh my goodness. And I know one of the things we'll be talking, of course, we're going to show pictures, is how was your deployment? How did that come about when you was, and when you got deployed?
So I was actually at a women's retreat when 9/11 happened. I was at a women's retreat, and I remember we were outside, and all of a sudden they said, come inside, and they have the TV playing, and we're watching, live the news, and we're seeing the building and the World Trade Center. And I remember like thinking, it's like, is this a movie? Like, why don't they have us, come see a movie? And I'm watching, and then I'm starting to hear the reactions, and then people are like, this is happening now, this is live, and then you see the second plane, and like we got to see that live, on screen. And I don't know, I mean, I think not just for me, but I know for a lot of people, it just this, like, you just felt your body just heat up from just like, wow, we're under attack. And it was like you're mad.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, so I remember we went into lockdown. We had to get back to base. And I think it was maybe, so that was September, and I think probably in November, our unit was told that there was going to be sending a small group of us to Kandahar, because Special Forces was going in there first to settle everything, make sure the support can come in and clear out the area at the airport. And yeah, so we got the word, and so somehow it was my platoon that was going to be, that group was going to come from, that the small group of logisticians were going to come from. And so everybody's, one of the first things, in the military, you're told, don't volunteer for anything.
That's right.
So that's the first thing they're asking for is volunteers.
Yeah.
And so I didn't volunteer because I'm like, I always was told don't volunteer for anything. So I didn't volunteer, initially.
Right.
Until they came back and, we were in a meeting and they're like, all right, well, we have so many males, and I think we had probably like 3 or 4 females, and they were soldiers. And at that time I was an NCO. So they're like, well, we need a female NCO to go. And so I immediately look around, and all the female NCOs had families, and I didn't have a family. So I just felt like I gotta go.
Yeah.
So I volunteered.
Yeah.
So I said I'll go. And so yeah, that was the beginning of a journey and experience. And like, again, thank God, thank my family for all the prayers.
Yes.
It was, looking back, it was only God.
Yes.
And the prayers that I was able to make it sane, be sane in that right space. Because Lord knows when we first started hearing those RPGs, you're like, is this it? Like, that was, those moments there was like, is this how I'm going to go?
Yeah.
And yeah, just, but I guess for me, I felt like, I'm single, I don't have a family, and I'd rather it be me than, people who are going to leave back children.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I honestly, it was a blur, looking back, it was a blur, because most of the time if we weren't working 12 hours, we were off 12 hours.
Gotcha.
And what I remember being off 12 hours is going to, bathe and sleeping. And I think I slept, I want to say I would sleep an average about, I felt like 10 hours. It seemed like I would sleep 10 hours. But learning, just learning to adapt to your environment, I think was also, one of those learning moments. One of the things that I tell people about that deployment that I learned to do was, we went in January, and in January it was cold.
Oh, yeah.
That desert weather. And we had, this is before, obviously, they came in with, the nice buildings, or not buildings, but, they had proper heat, that they started being able to properly heat the facilities for the service members later. But we had like this giant circus tent with a little potbelly stove in the middle.
I remember those. Oh my God, yeah.
The potbelly stoves, yeah. So the people who were like in the middle, close to it,
they
got a lot of the warmth, but I was all the way at the end, like at the door. So not only did I have the door I was close to, but I wasn't getting any heat. And, all you have is your cot and your Gore-Tex, the Gore-Tex sleeping bag, which didn't do squat because the cold was getting through it. But I somehow learned that if you keep your legs or your feet hanging off the edge of the cot, it cuts the circulation. And when it cuts the circulation to your feet, you go numb. And when you go numb, it's warm.
Right. That's a good way to look at it. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness.
I hate being cold. I hate to be cold.
And we're gonna go post after you finish, but we have a question. So I'm gonna put it up, and here's a question that somebody put up. Can you see it?
Lessons from the military have stuck with you the most.
Yeah.
Have stuck with you the most. Yeah. What lessons? I'd say I wouldn't say it's a lesson, but I guess about helping others. It's like if you have something that you can impart on people, or if you have something, whether it be monetary or whatever, it's about helping others.
Yes.
In the military, it's about not leaving your battle buddy, or somebody's not doing very well. You want to help them up. Because it's very important in the military that they're gonna have to have your back if something goes wrong. But I mean, there's lots of lessons. Gosh,
I mean, there's some things I still carry today. I mean, it's like selfless service. That was one of the biggest lessons that even my friends say, like, why do you volunteer for that? It's just the right thing to do. It's not about volunteering so much as, like, especially as non-commissioned officers, it's just part of, like, okay, hey, step up. So yeah, you're right. There's so much on that, but the things that we have learned have made our lives a lot better, I would say. Quality of life.
Absolutely. And when you said selfless service, I thought about, I don't know if it's changed. It's probably changed now, because I know the model has changed for the Army a few times.
Oh, yeah.
But, going back to when I was in, what we had to wear in our dog tags was leadership.
Yes.
The loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, integrity, personal courage, and so it's like knowing those items, and constantly having to, you had them you had them around your neck 24/7. There are reminders.
Yes.
There are reminders, to basically, be there for others, and it's not just about yourself.
And Marlena has another question. So we're going to talk about it. She asks, what was your transition to civilian life like?
And just for full disclosure, that's my niece.
Okay.
We have the same, you didn't see, we have the same last name. And shout out to her. She's always, she's also my goddaughter.
Okay.
Awesome. But I just transitioned from service to civilian. So after I got back from deployment, I was able to do a early release to go to school, because by that time I already knew I should have taken my butt to school.
Right,
so
right.
I was, when you talk about motivated, I was motivated to get it. To get to college. And so I was able to get to school, and that's all I did for 2.5. I was able to get my degree in 2.5 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was able to get my degree in 2.5 years. Like you said, graduated Magna Cum Laude. So I was focused. I was so tuned in, focused, and ready to really start a civilian career.
Right.
And little did I know it would lead me to my civilian career in the federal government as a housing intern for the Army.
Okay.
So it was a leadership program for 2 years that I came in, and ended up at that time I was going to school in Fort Bliss, and so I ended up getting selected to be the housing intern in Fort Bliss.
Yeah.
I said Fort Bliss, and you brought back some memories.
Girl, I was a first sergeant. It is not blissful. Let me tell you. But go ahead. I was like, oh yeah, I know about Yeah.
I love. It reminded me a lot of Kandahar, to be honest.
Yeah,
desert,
I got
the
it.
mountains.
But thank God they didn't have social media like they got now. I would be, but let's continue on with
That's a different story, huh?
we'll go with that. No, but you're right. It's the opportunities again that some of us, me and you, especially being Latinos, that we probably wouldn't have had we stayed, not joined the military. Which leads me to the next thing as far as your post-military. And a lot of people really don't know, what is the VFW? What do they do? Because a lot of people have asked me that, but what is the VFW?
So contrary to popular belief, we just don't sit around the canteen and drink. Most people that aren't aware of what the VFW does, but we're the Veterans of Foreign War. As you know, we're a veteran service organization, one of veteran service organizations in the country. We do a lot of community support in the area. I'm speaking for my post as well, but nationally, I mean, it's a great organization that I'm happy to be a part of, especially at my post at this time, and it was something that I just came about it when I moved to this area, because I'm in Northern Virginia. I didn't know anybody. It's just kind of like, how do I get involved? My mom had just moved in with me at the time, and I thought, well, maybe we need to start volunteering, doing something. So I thought, the VFW was down the road, and I thought, let's go there. And so I went there to, the local post, and didn't know I was actually joining we still are the largest VFW post in the world.
That is amazing.
Awesome. Over 6,000. Yeah, there's over 6,000 posts. And the VFW in general has over 1.6 million comrades and auxiliary members. So it's a great organization. I can't say enough about it. I've been serving on the board of directors since 2018, and we just do a lot when it comes to supporting nonprofits, supporting other veterans, of course, active duty, and their families. So I mean, there's always we can go around as far as the different programs that we're there, we support, but overall, they also involved in a lot of legislative advocacy. One of the main things right now is trying to get past the Richard Starr Act. The Richard Starr Act would allow the retirees to keep the compensation as well as their disability, not having to have them choose between which one they keep. There's a lot of advocacy. They come out and it's like you read them, but it's like I can't retain a lot of information on it. But I encourage everybody, to go to the VFW.org or even to our VFW post 1503 and take a look at what we're doing. And we're just not a bunch of people, just veterans sitting around drinking. Although you do have some of them there that that's what they want to go for, but hey, that's what keeps them happy. And
in Estrella, when I first came back, and I just got back from Iraq and got here, so when I first went to my local VFW and the Legion, it was just a lot of drink. At first it was okay, it was like okay, but then afterwards, is this all we do? Well, you can ride a motorcycle. I don't have a motorcycle to ride, but I am so glad that it's transitioned to something more at the community base, that helps veterans and civilians. So I got a question. I know how can the communities, the VFWs that are in communities, how can they get more involved? What can they do?
VFWs, I'm sorry, one more time, the question.
Like the community, like people, veterans, or even somebody who's never served, how can they support their local VFW? Like what things are out there? Like if somebody say, hey, I want to support, what can I do? What can they do?
So I mean, there's well, I know I'll speak for ours. We have a lot of opportunities when we go to do stuff in Quantico. When we do the programs for scholarships, We do buddy poppies during, they're done year round, but, we collect donations.
Yes.
So, you can support your VFW in many ways. But, again, it's about going to pay a visit, just pay a visit, I would say, and hear, people there and see, how you can get involved. There's lots of ways to get involved. And I always meet people and I come to find out like what they do. And it's like, oh, how about let's do this or let's do that. Again, we're volunteer service. So if you want to put in the time, then, we encourage you to, take charge and take the lead on it.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know for us, like during Memorial Day, they have a Memorial Day parade, and then all the posts are open to the public to see. Hey, you can do this and find out how you can support. What's that one? Wreath Across America. Am I saying it right? Wreath Across America.
Well, across America. Yep. That's another one. There's so many different ways to get involved. So if you really want to get involved, like I said, just reach out to your local VFW or any veteran service organization, and we do bingo at our post Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so we're always looking for volunteers, to come and be bingo callers or be able to walk some of the lanes there at the VFW to call out some of the winners. So just for different tasks, but we always need new people so that the same people that can get a break at times.
Yeah. And I have another question from from Serena Torino. What were your biggest challenges or proudest moments during your service?
My family's all here.
Thank you.
What were my biggest challenges and proudest moments? Oh gosh, that's a very loaded question. Goodness. Serena, I'm going to talk to you later about this. Challenge. I guess the challenge in being young in the military, being a young NCO, is not really having that experience. And so when you were told something by a senior officer, non-commissioned officer, NCO, it's like, how do you, if you felt it was wrong or if you felt something, being more vocal, being able to, you kind of taught you respect, your rank. And so just being more vocal with them and being able to express and communicate, how it made you feel without, it being confrontational. But of course, being young, you don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely.
And so, with time and experience and age, you start to learn, you start to find that what works, your voice. Did you want to add more to that as I was saying something?
No. I wanted to add that I had some great mentors. I mean, because I was FUBAR. I'm not going to say what it means, but I was lost like last year's Easter eggs as a private. Oh my God, I made so many mistakes. And the hardest rank, I remember when I'm 85, because I wasn't one of the guys anymore. I was an NCO, but I can say that I had some of the greatest mentors, and they were hard on me. And that's one of the things that I learned, how to mentor, be a coach, and it becomes natural for us now in the civilian sector, So for me, just having somebody really take care of me was a big thing for me, 24/7, because we were on 24/7. So we had to always be at our best behavior. If not, you would get in trouble. So, and we got one more question from, maybe who she is too. So what's your best piece of advice for a high schooler, young adult considering enlistment?
Wow. Great question, Serena. I guess best advice is you don't know everything. You think you know everything. And so I guess, your parents being able to, for some that are not close to their parents, some people go through different life stages, but I'd say that have the people that you trust, your family. I would say lean on your family for advice, and if that's what you want to do, go for it. I know I'll go back to God, because I will be honest. When I graduated high school, I didn't believe in God. I would say I was agnostic. I knew there was something, but I didn't know what it was. I grew up Catholic, and we were the Catholics that just go on Christmas and Easter, and so that was kind of growing up what it was like. And in the military, I had questions. Now thinking you know everything. Now you're challenging, the word and everything, and I just could never get any. I was very black and white. If it was written there, then I didn't want to know what you thought or what you felt. I wanted it to be written. And so I kind of stayed that way up until my dad passed away, and my mom corrected me. My dad actually passed away in 2014. It was February 18th. The 18 came about, but I think I put it 2018 instead of saying 2014. But he passed away in 2014. And I was in Korea when I got the word that, he had passed. He had had a heart attack. And it was, a flight I'll never forget, because, it's about 12 hours. Well, there was just 12 hours getting from Seoul to, getting to the West Coast. And then, you have another few hours. But I remember in that being in the plane and thinking, like, I felt closer to him for some reason, like being up there.
Amen.
And when I got home, I saw my mom and I got to see my dad. That night, I just, I remember like just crying out to whoever you are, whatever you are, show me.
Yeah.
And it was just like, the next day I had like a whole 180. Like I literally like went full 180, where it was like people, my own family, my mom, to this day is like, who's watching. Hi, Mom. So yeah, she, I know she's happy and thrilled that I was the only one that, finally came back.
Yeah. And speaking about your mom and dad, I think it's time for show and tell.
Yes.
So let us go through this and tell us what we have in front of us.
Yes, that was basic training. My parents, who came to Fort Jackson, drove up there with my grandma, my younger sister, and my younger brother, and they brought their dog Sylvester. Rest in peace, Sylvester. But yeah, my parents were married 43 years before my dad passed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Right.
Yeah, so that is that's actually when I landed in Kandahar. So that was the airport there in Kandahar, and actually the picture on the right is when we were leaving. So notice I have a smile there. I was so happy.
Short timer's attitude. I got you. Time to go. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
C5 behind me. So being in Kandahar, those were the mostly C5, C31s that we would that we would offload. And so the Air Force. I love the Air Force. I won't talk bad about them because they took care of us. Yeah, we had to become friends because they would also go back to Germany and take your clothes to wash it. So
absolutely.
There, so actually those were some local nationals. As you know, there were some things that you got exposed to when it comes to toxins, burn pits. So I was on detail, and I think I snapped that picture of the local nationals that were helping us with that. And then the picture on the right was some of our platoon that was there, and that was all our stuff, all on the pallet, ready to go. And we're just waiting. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, that was my kind of my living. My cot was on the left. The MREs, the box of MREs on the right.
I remember those.
On my little locker. But yeah, that was my little setup. And then I think on the right was I was actually on a little bench set. We had to like make our own exercise equipment. So that was actually a makeshift bench that we had done.
Cool. All right.
And that was my squad. I was a squad leader, so that was some members of my squad. And then on the right were some of the people that we worked there on the airfield.
Yeah. And you become pretty tight with your teammates there, and even people that support you. It's just amazing. Some of them are for life, the friendship sometimes. So I get it. So what do we have here?
So October 31st is the deadline for the VFW Patriots Pen and Voice of Democracy, which is the National Youth Scholarship Program. But most people, you can reach out to your local post and submit their entries, and it's for an opportunity to win cash that you can apply towards college. I know for the Patriots Pen, the national award is $5,000, and for Voice of Democracy is $35,000.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yep. So it's open to middle school and high school, and even if you do homeschool, you can also, you're eligible to apply, and you win at all levels of the program. So you can win at your post level, and if you win there, you can go on to your district level and win more money, and then go to your department, which is the state, win there, and then if you make it to national and win there, is more money.
Wow.
So so October 31st, which is maybe next week. That's the deadline. And so I encourage people to go to the VFW.org, or if you want to scan that QR code, that will give you more information.
All right. And we had a question before we go to the next slide. Somebody asked, how has military service enhanced your life personally and professionally? Thank you for that question, Chris.
The picture didn't come up. I guess we can show them later. Yeah. But how's the military enhanced my? I'd say it's enhanced my life. Like I said, I think it's helped me with buying a home, several homes that I've been able to buy. It's given me that financial stability. Also, get into when you're getting government positions as well. Being a disabled veteran, so it's helped. It's helped me quite a bit financially. Also, you meet great people as well.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you for that question. And we have donate blood in honor of Mr. Thomas Williams Jr. And who was he?
So this is phenomenal man. Rest in peace, Mr. Williams. That's how I came on the board when he was the post commander. And so we are doing a memorial blood drive. He dedicated a lot of his, I think it was over 30, once he retired from the Army, he went to work for the Red Cross, and he was very instrumental in bringing the Red Cross, doing blood drives there at our post. And so he passed away, I want to say about 3 years ago. His memorial just came up. So we've named it after him, the blood drive, and that's happening November 7th. And so encourage people to come out and donate blood.
Cool beans, yes. And we have Veterans Roundtable.
And there's a Veterans Roundtable that, we also, this is a nonprofit, Patriots for Families. And like I say, we partner with a lot of nonprofits, to either use our facilities or be able to support them in financial ways as well. And so that's happening November 15th.
And I'll put the website, ladies and gentlemen, on there if anybody wants to, and I'll put it back up. If anybody wants it. I think we got another question here. Okay.
Before we ask the question, I just want to also mention that our local post is doing a Toys for Tots collection.
Okay.
And so, I forgot to put that one up, but we're doing also a Toys for Tots collection. So if people want to, they can go to our website and also just shop on Amazon, and it will get sent straight to our post.
That is stupendous. And we have somebody who says, Forever proud of you, Aunt Star. Thank you for always being such a wonderful role model for all of us, just so you know. You know, we got one more here. It says, such awesome pictures. We love you, Aunt Star. Thank you for your service and continuous support and advice you give. So proud and happy for you. That's a lot of love you're getting. A lot of love. I like that.
Family is very important to me.
Oh, and before of course, when we talk about Air Force, Juan Garcia said, "Amen, Air Force." I would tell you, there's nothing like an Army person going to an Air Force dining facility. It is stupendous. It's like, you guys rock. I mean, you know, so I gotta say kudos to the Air Force. You're right. They do take care of us. They're bomb diggity. They're awesome.
I'll shout out him and his wife. They're active duty Air Force in Georgia.
Thank you. And we got, and look at that picture. I wanted to show you in uniform. Yeah, Sergeant Martinez. What was this picture taken at?
That was at a ball. Yeah, that was at a ball where you get to dress up.
That is awesome. And I need to show one more picture. Let me get this one, and you can tell us who this is.
That's my little family, Sean and our daughter, Navy, who just turned 2 about 2 weeks ago. So she's 2 going on 13.
Beautiful family.
Yeah, so that was, we actually took that picture, I think it was last month, and we went to Costa Rica, our first time in Costa Rica.
Wow.
Beautiful place.
So we have a few minutes left. Estrella, is there anything else you want to put out about, you know, either your time in the service, the VFW, just anything for anybody that's watching out there, you know?
No, I just, want to say thank you again to you, what you're doing as far as giving this platform for, service members, people to come on and share stories and just be heard and be seen. I think it's important that, we have people like you that are, that are listening, and it's definitely, you deserve your kudos. I'd give you flowers, but I can't give you your flowers.
No, flower, but I thank you, but I got to put this last one. Look what this one says. Proud of my daughter accomplishments and for putting God always first. Amen. Gloria a Dios. Oh, absolutely. This is stupendous. No, you've dropped a lot of golden nuggets for people, especially was that your niece you said, or your goddaughter?
My niece, they're my nieces and my nephew were on there. Yeah.
And that's what it's about. Me and the Star, I talked about, knowledge is worthless unless you share it. And we have to share for our young people. It's, so thank you for just, everything you do. Oh, and what's supposed to happen in June? I could not let this go. What's supposed to happen in June at the VFW?
Oh, well, before we get to June, I want to talk about, we have upcoming in March, March 7th. We have our second annual Women's Small Business Expo. Okay. And we're probably going to throw in there a little talent show. Mm-hmm. So if you're in the area, be on the lookout for a save the date and come out and, support women's small business, women-owned businesses. It's a tongue twister. Yep. So for the community, I encourage them to come out and support the women. That's March 7th. But yeah, so in June, if I get elected by the membership, I will be the first female post commander, and if it stays the largest VFW post,
congratulations, kudos to you, Estrella Star. You've accomplished a lot. A lot of people out here definitely support you. I know I'll be coming to your VFW to support. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will let you go. Just thank you for being here. To the audience, muchas gracias for just being here. And the question, without you, there can be no us. So thank you so much to all my veterans and first responders. So with that, I will let you go. Gracias. Ooh-ah. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, We're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.